Hey, yeah. Usually, start these out singing a song or something. Stop crying, Eduardo. Stop it. Just, dude, you're gonna get me emotional, man. And obviously, we know what happened, right? Muhammad Ali has passed away, and people come on and we talk about who he was as a person, who he was as a fighter, and even and those I think wound up being intermixed because as great as a fighter he was easily that as a person. So you put it all in. I mean, you go back to him starting out fighting in I think it was 54 as an amateur, and then winning the gold medal in Rome in 60, and going from there, and and coming up through the ranks, and the venom that he faced when people don't uh, when someone or something is so good and they let you know that it's that good and they prove it over and over again, people get a little upset at that. And you're talking about the 60s, and it's an African American doing it, and that kind of got to people a little bit more. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. It's talking about racism, you're talking about the bigotry. It's all in there. And I will admit, when I was younger, I was kind of raised by a racist dad. So my views on Muhammad Ali weren't that much. If you had asked me who my favorite fighter was at that time, I mean, I was still Marvin Hagler. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't crazy, but I didn't see Muhammad Ali as great as he was. But that's because a picture was painted for me that wasn't a true picture. A picture is only the creator's interpretation of what it is. And I guess what I'm going to say is my interpretation of what Ali is. We all have our opinions. And as a young kid growing up, I was ignorant and didn't know. And being someone that served in the military and done all that, you know, initially, as when I was younger, I didn't understand why someone wouldn't want to serve his country because I was ignorant. I was young and I was all, just balls to the wall. I'm going to serve my country and do my thing. But Ali saw bigger than that. And we know it now. We can look back and say, that the Vietnam War shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened, shouldn't have been there. And he was above that, or he was ahead of the times in that, in protesting it. The rich senator sons, they weren't the ones getting drafted. They give you an out if you were in college. There were all these ways of getting out, but unless you were poor, you're kind of stuck with that draft thing. And he had every reason and every right to say what he said. How can a country that has been so dead against and came up with laws to keep people of the African American culture down, as they did the Irish, as they did the Italians, as they did, the Japanese, the Chinese, any minority that has come into play in this country. There have been laws, both actually on the books and those unwritten laws that come through, and he was above that, and he wasn't going to stand for it. And he lost 3 years of his prime. As great as we say, he is and what he did in boxing and all of that, he lost 3 years of his prime. And I don't think people focus that much. If you would have took Mayweather from the time he was 29 to 32, or from the time he was, 28 and 31, whatever 3 years you want to throw in there. Actually, it's like 4 years. And you want to take those years away from any fighter, who would have done what he did? I mean, it's not like you can you're getting all that nutrition, you're getting all the training, and you're doing all that while you're in prison, you know. And yet he came out even better than before he went in. And his approach and his care for people and the way he treated people, the visible joy you would see when he dealt with children. And if nothing more, the words that he put out about love and caring for people and what he did. They talk about the 15 hostages that he got, the Iraqi hostages that he got freed. And there was no one else in the world that Saddam Hussein was going to listen to. But he listened to Ali. He had that kind of effect on people. And I think, there aren't a lot of those people out there that see above. They don't see color. They don't see race. They see people. They see your soul. And he was one of those. And I don't see anybody out in sports in general right now that are bringing that kind of a message, that are bringing that much love, caring, and compassion for their fellow man. So, he's going to be missed. He's one of you don't replace that. You just hope somebody can kind of try to pick up and add to what he's already done. See, stop it, Eduardo. I know. It's okay. We'll watch a couple fights. We'll hug it out. Muhammad Ali. One of the greatest ever. Yeah. Out.